This is Baltimore, Maryland, the greatest city in America. The proof of its namesake lies in the people you'll find in this film. Many talented individuals in vastly different areas, whether they play ball like no other or have vocal cords beyond comprehension. This is the artist and the athlete. In Baltimore, everybody either want to be a rapper or everybody wants to be a ball player. Or sometimes both. But we all know everybody can't make it, and everybody just ain't that good. But along the way, you do have a few special people who make things look easy. Let's take a look at some of those major players.
I'm 20 years old. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entertainer.
I'm 17 and I'm a producer.
I'm Christopher Gunn, also known as Sir. I make music. I'm 18 years old.
My name is Kaylen Ridley, Rougeland, aka Scotty Rouge. I'm 19 and I live in Baltimore, Maryland.
Alonzo Duncan, 18, music producer / engineer.
Imani W.J. Wright, currently age 17. Just graduated from Carver Center for the Arts and Technology. I study vocal music there, and next year I'm going to York College of Pennsylvania to pursue a BS in music with studies in recording technology and the music industry.
I'm Jaylen Gresham, number 8. I go to St. Augustine's University.
I'm Justin Jacobs. Right now I go to Los Angeles Valley College in Los Angeles, California. Right now I'm just taking some classes and working out for football and redshirting this year. So I have a year to get stronger, faster, and smarter.
First, we wanted to get down to the basics. We had to ask, how has this city impacted them and their upbringing? Did it inspire them or did it damage them?
My name is Terrence McNeil. Baltimore is a given and a curse. It can beat you down, it can bring you up, it can make you feel good. Baltimore has made me who I am today. I love my city.
Oh my gosh, Baltimore. One thing I have to say about Baltimore is that they don't support. And you know what? That made me a way stronger singer. I'm really happy that people didn't support me singing, that people ignored me, that people did everything that they did in a negative way, because it made me way stronger.
If you're not from somewhere, don't like come for the place. Like, don't criticize them. Like, of course, Baltimore as a whole, we need to do more. Just a couple weeks ago, I believe the voice of our city, Lord Scooter, he got killed. You know, coming from a peace protest, a basketball charity event. So like, it's just that, you know, there are some haters in the city, but it's like, you know, Baltimore is a good place, and like, I've made a lot of loyal friends in Baltimore. So, and it's not about no county shit, no city shit. We're talking about Baltimore, all of us. We all one and the same. It don't matter what hood you from, what block you from. It really don't matter, because all in general, we all from the same place. Everybody talk the same, everybody do the same thing, so that's just how it is.
Donovan Riley, 22 years old. I went to a great school in Baltimore City, Baltimore Polytechnic Institute. So, I mean, it really wasn't a bad school. It's one of the top schools in the state. But I mean, it's still being a Baltimore City public school, but so you still get kids from different parts of the city that come from different backgrounds. But you take in each of their environments, or what I did was take in each of their environments and understand it, because you don't. It's not good for one to judge someone off of how they brought up when they can't control it. So what I do is just I accept it, and I try to take a piece from each of what I think I'm missing, take a piece, and then bind it into one.
My name is Menelik Rose, and I am a creative entrepreneur, fashion designer. I'm 19 years old, and I live in Randallstown, Maryland. Growing up in Baltimore has played a big motivational role in me, because growing up in Baltimore, it's kind of hard to be different. You know what I mean? Throughout my whole life, I've always been different. I've never really followed what people have been doing. I remember in the earlier years when I was wearing skinny jeans and the big shoes with skinny jeans, and people would make fun of me for that. You know what I mean? And now people do it, and now it's a normal thing. It's a normal thing in fashion. And it's what people do now. So I mean, those are one of the things that I struggled with throughout high school. Is just being boxed in. I felt like I was being boxed in. I actually have a tattoo of a rose. I just recently got it. It's like a rose boxed in, and that represents me in my high school years, me being boxed in.
Amiir Hasan, 18 years old. I'm a rapper, entrepreneur, entertainer. You know, the texture of the environment is different. It's a rougher thing going on the city side of things. And that always gave me two sides to it, because I always had family both sides. So I look at it like, you know, just to be fortunate that I never grew up in that. But I always looked at it like, yo, I only appreciate what I have, but try to make tomorrow better for whoever is coming behind.
I'm Justin Williams, I'm 17. I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm a freelance artist and a wide receiver for Delaware State University. The biggest thing from Baltimore is you can't trust shit.
Devin Hextall, 19 years of age. I play football at Los Angeles Valley College. I play wide receiver, and my major is political science. Growing up in Baltimore, you know, ain't nobody soft coming up out of Baltimore, you know that. So just my whole drive to the game is like, I know I can't come back. It's nothing else here for me. You know, I gotta come back. I gotta make it out in Cali, or there's no other option, because this football is all I live for out here. Like, keeps me going.
Hey guys, my name is Tajne. I'm 18. I'm a rapper, aspiring rapper, and in the fall, I'm on a $60,000 scholarship in the Gaucho. You have to learn that you really don't have as much control as you want to.
Probably the most important question during our time with these individuals was what exactly makes them different. How do they stand out? Why would we even consider them talented amongst the masses?
A lot of people don't have to drive outside of what's required. I go above and beyond what's required. Like, I work out on my own. There's not a lot of people that can work out on their own without a coach watching. And that's what's excelled me above the people that I've been playing against for so many years, that I constantly did it on my own without no coaches watching. And that's how I progressed over people, even if my size did matter. Like, I just progressed over people just because of my work ethic and doing it on myself and my friends.
The difference between me and them, I don't know what they do, but I know what I do. I come home, I do my homework, make sure my grades and stuff is straight. I do that first, and then I make music. I eat, make music, and then I go to sleep. And then the next day, same thing. On my days off, I make music. I try to talk to people that make music. I try to get myself out there. I'm like, hey, here's my song that I just produced. Listen to this. Tell everybody else about that. I'm on my grind. I'm serious about what I do. I don't know about other people. They might be like, oh, I make music for fun here and there, but no, I'm serious about mine. It's gonna pay off one day. Watch.
As you can see the color, not a lot of minorities, black, white, not a lot of minorities like black African Americans, other races out there playing golf. Golf is majority white, and me being in a position, me being the only black person at Penn State, playing golf at Penn State, and getting in management, getting a management there. It's pretty big.
The things that make me different is that I pay attention to detail. These are some of the more important things that a designer needs to look at, not necessarily just designing, but it's more than just designing. It's more of doing your homework to say, looking at different designs, knowing what's relevant, and then designing in your aesthetic, rather than just designing whatever, because no one would just buy whatever you're designing if you don't know what's in and what's not in. So that's really what separates me from what other people do that I do.
I feel like I stick out because I can do multiple things. I don't just stay in one lane. I just don't just do one genre. I do multiple things, and I feel like I stick out because I'm not like every producer. I try to be different, but also every producer ain't a producer. It's a difference between a beat maker and a producer. You know what I'm saying? Whereas though I can go in the studio with an artist and try to help that artist come up with a hit. That's a producer. You know what I'm saying? Compared to a beat maker where they're just making the beats.
And what makes me different is that at such a young age, I took it so seriously. I decided at 12, this is what I'm gonna do, and nowhere in between 12 and 18 did I ever say, oh, I don't know, or anything. No, I'm straight for it ever since. I mean, I started like the 6th, 7th grade, and I've never slowed down, never stopped. That's the difference, is that I don't think about it, I live it. It's kind of like my nature. Anytime I'm doing anything, I'm always thinking about what can I put in this rap? What can I do for the documentary? What am I doing for the next album? For Zo's album? What am I doing for all these other things? So I'm always thinking about how we gonna throw the festival. So the difference is, I'm not really dreaming it. I'm really living it. I put myself in that position at a very young age, fortunately. That's the difference.
Well, I have consistency, and that's the main important thing, because you gotta keep making the shots, doing the right thing. That's what coaches like the most. They like to see consistency and leadership, because leadership brings the team together. Without leadership, everybody's gonna be apart, and it's gonna mess everything up.
Stand out for my work ethic. Like, I'm not the biggest person, I'm not the strongest person, not the fastest person, but my work ethic is something special. Like, I have this mentality where, like, I don't give up on anything. It's a mental thing as well as a physical thing in football. So when I'm always on the field, I'm always thinking, like, you know, push harder, get that extra yard, make that tackle. It's a mental thing, a mind thing. So, you know, it's a lot to it. But the most important part, I would have to say, is the mental part.
I think it's what's inside of it. It's my will. It's my will, you know, my grit. It's my passion, my desire, my tenacity. It's just a lot of things. Just my guts. Like, it's just a lot of things boiled up into one that's abstract. So it's not like you can see it. It's just something that you just have to have and be right. So like all these tattoos I have, you know, right here, they all mean something. They all geared towards what I want to accomplish in life, and what makes me different is I won't stop until I have it. So, like, I will not. It's just my mindset, and it's like, if I don't get it, I will die trying to get it. And that's just my mindset with anything that I want and that I want to accomplish. That I will not. I'll be as persistent as I don't know what, but once I have it, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to stay consistent with keeping it, because I don't want to lose it because of the journey it took me to get it.
First and foremost, I'm a very competitive person. I hate to lose. I always want to win. So when I play any sport, I might be good at it, I might not, but I'm going to win. That's my mindset. I'm going in the game. I'm going to win that game. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to stop me from winning this game.
First and foremost, I'm going to start out with the most cliche answer you could possibly get. I work hard, but above all, I do things that I like to do. As far as people following trends and stuff like that, I do things that I like to do, and so it grows on people. I like to do what I like to do. I don't do it for no criticism, really. I do it for the love and the passion of it. It's just something that I feel like how I stick out the most, though.
Everything begins with an idea, and with that idea brings inspiration. So we need to know who or what is that inspiration to be better and be different amongst the rest.
Picked up a club at 2, started playing competitively around 6 years old, and after 6, I just started playing more golf, taking passion of golf myself, just started to fly with it. And ever since high school, playing my own states, that's been like a motivation for me to strive to get better and to be at a level where I can see other people look at me and see that I'm different apart from society, and I can change people's lives that way too as well.
Because, like, I mean, there's other things that I could do, but there's nothing that I could do as well as singing. And singing is like, when I sing and I see people cry and I see people like give me big hugs and people want to kiss me and everything, I'm just like, wow, the only way I can really be influential to people is to sing. So God obviously gave me this gift. Like, I feel like it's my God-given gift and I have to use it.
Music has always been in my blood, you know. My grandfather's been doing music back in his time. He's always trying to make music. He's always been trying to make music as a youngin'. So I got that music stuff from my mom's side. And fashion's always ran in me. You know?
I do my passion because it's what I love. It's what wakes me up in the morning. It makes me go run. It makes me go lift weights. It makes me go to the gym. I have to go to the court. I have to do it.
I actually fell in love with music my freshman year of college, which was last year. I had separated my shoulder, so I really was kind of homebound. I really couldn't do anything, and I had just got a Mac laptop, so I always wanted to, you know, work in garage and everything. I found out how I could get lots of pro, and so I started using that. And actually, somebody who lived close to me, they had a microphone and they let me use the mic. So I started kind of really finding my passion in that, and how just the process of making music, you know, actually putting down, because when you listen to what you make, it's your feeling, and you know you can really tell how somebody's feeling through that music.
There's nothing else to do. It's the lifestyle. It's who I am. It's part of me. If I wasn't doing this, I can't even really tell you who I'd be or what I'd be doing. Like, it would be great for me to say I'll be in this type of profession, doing these types of things, but I really don't know. This is who I am. That's why I do it. That's it. It's a part of me. It's 50% of me off top.
I got my passion for the game ever since I was 8. Just watching my dad be happy when I run up and down the field just motivates me to do what I do on the field since I was a youngin' playing the game for real.
I got my passion from my father because he taught me how to play the game. Age 4, that's when I started playing basketball, shooting the little hoops, the little tight basketball hoops. Yeah. They started dunking on it, and I started playing at age 6 on up here at Orange Mills League.
Back when I was in middle school, actually, I went to Deer Park Middle Magnet School, and Amiir called me one day, like, sis, I'm ready. Start this music group, and I kind of wanted to see if you wanted to be in it. So I was like, I already bet. And originally I wasn't rapping. Originally I was singing, but where I got my passion from was just listening to beats, and through the beats I could make words that actually connected and they sounded good while doing so.
Watching my dad, also my family, seeing them with their passion with DJing, producing, rapping and all that. I tried my own way, which is DJing first, and then I got hooked into it.
Man, I got my passion for music when I was in church one day. I mean, I've been playing the drums since before I got in church and all that, but I mean, I guess I got more involved with church, you know. I got a chance to play the drums one day at church, you feel me? Then I guess everybody in church, you know, was standing on their feet, you know, like cheering me on, you know. I was playing something, but I don't know if it was all that, but still, you feel me? Just to support, to see people on their feet, to support young people, you feel me?
I just love to do it. If I didn't love to do it, I wouldn't be making music. And 2, just making other people happy, because I know music is a happy thing. And hearing my own music, people rapping on my beats and things like that, that makes me happy, you know. So it's a good thing. That's what I do, you know.
So I get my passion from basically the things around me. I always loved art, I always loved fashion, and I always loved different aesthetics. And you know, throughout my years in grade school, I took art. I went to Suburb Magnet Middle School. I was in level 3 when I was in 6th grade. That was a fairly higher level of art, and through there I picked up fashion, and I always loved it.
Photography, paint, art in general, I got it from my mother. She's been doing it ever since I was a little kid, and I just happened to pick up on it, and it just skyrocketed from there. But as far as clothing goes, something I got into recently, I figured with my artistic abilities that I could be fluent in that field and, you know, do what I gotta do.
I gained my passion from the music, man, from when To be honest, when, like I said, Amiir, you know what I'm saying, introduced me to the FL Studio. And you know, once he introduced that to me, from then, I just been, you know, trying to gain passion, trying to see what I was trying to do with it.
Passion, it really came from the crowd I was around when I was into things I really shouldn't have been into. I noticed that, like, you know, the homies that was around, you know, that was also with the same people I was around, you know, causing trouble when I was in middle school. They were the same people that, you know, at the end of the day, they wouldn't just go home. They would, you know, go to the studio. They wouldn't sleep after even being out all day, like doing whatever they do, nothing specifically, but, you know, doing what people have to do to survive on a daily basis. And that just inspired me, you know, that I can be more than just an everyday person, someone that just causes problems for somebody rather than someone that inspired or to look up to, or, you know, just to leave the world with something to, you know, make them feel better about themselves.
I don't know about you, but when I make my mind up about something, there's always something that sparked that decision. We wanted to dig deeper and find out exactly what that moment was for these individuals. When and how did they realize this was the way out for them?
108,000 in the horseshoe, millions watching on TV, playing Ohio State, and we're in the stand, or people in the stands getting loud. Everybody's there. LeBron is there. A couple of his teammates there. So, you know, I don't even care. I don't care if, you know, if the richest man in the world was there. That doesn't even, you know, faze me. My mind, I was blinders on. I'm ready to, you know, play the game. So I'm playing the game. We're playing throughout the game and things of that nature. And so when my boy goes down, so I have to play on his side of the corner, and I play on his side of the corner. So we're playing. It's the end of the game. We up 2 touchdowns or 1 touchdown. They're driving, trying to score to tie the game up. And you know, we playing a prevent defense, a 3D type of defense, or a man coverage defense that looks like a 3D. And you know, I see the receiver breaking, and while I'm playing the receiver, I'm looking at the quarterback. So the entire time the receiver is running downfield, I'm looking at the quarterback, and the quarterback looks like he's about to throw the ball. So when he throws the ball, I'm like, hell with the receiver, you know. The receiver's still running, but the ball is out of the quarterback's hands. So I come back to the ball, and once I catch the ball, I'm like, oh shoot. I'm thinking, like, I just made the biggest play maybe of my career. And catch the ball, and I'm like, Donovan, don't trip, don't fall, and most importantly, do not get caught. So I'm thinking all this when I'm running down the sideline. And when I'm running, I'm looking up into the stands, and I'm looking up onto that big jumbotron at me running. And I'm like, man, I just did something that was not supposed to be done. So when I scored, I'm like, oh, this joint is crazy. I can't believe what I just did.
I had my first exhibit when I went to the Micah pre-college program. And, you know, we had all these other artists from the different areas. You had them San Diego, Miami, just all the different states, all together in one exhibit. And for some reason, everybody was just attracted to mine. They were just saying how ahead of my time I was. So I wasn't really confident in my artistic ability at that moment. But that's what really showcased, like, dang, I'm better than niggas from my mistakes and shit like that, doing the same thing I'm doing.
Getting this state championship right here. You see this? I got 2 of them, but the other ring didn't come yet. The state championship just brings me courage every day to play hard and work harder. That's the most important thing.
Favorite play? It's a lot of them, but I'll have to say my all-time favorite play from this season would have to be me catching an interception against Randallstown High School. Like, there's so many things that happened that play. Like, and that game was everywhere. That game was on Twitter, that game was on Instagram, Snapchat, was everywhere. You know, and that's a rival game, so, you know, I like that. And that interception, The only thing I was thinking when that interception happened was, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Which way do I go? I didn't know if I was going to go right, left. So, I did want to score that play, didn't. But, I gave the offense a chance to score, and they did.
In life, you get kicked down. You don't win, or you don't get your way with things. What makes a successful person different from a quote-unquote loser is how hard they fight to get back up. Being a champion isn't about being undefeated. It's coming back from adversity, stronger than ever. So what's your motivation?
I want to prove. That's bad to say, but that's something that keeps people going forever and ever. Like, proving to people who told you couldn't do it, from elementary school to my own personal family. I want to prove to them that I can do it. And for myself, I want to get there. I want to make something better for myself. And seeing how hard my mom has worked since I was 3 years old, I will never have to work that hard. That's what I'm going to do for myself.
My motivation to be better is had a rough come up with football. Didn't really get big until my senior year playing high school football. So I was really doubted a lot coming up as a kid. So now that I finally got the talent and the size, and just proving everybody wrong that doubted me before, and that just drives me every day.
I think every day I wake up and my main goal is to be better than I was yesterday. And complacency is something that I hate, something that I look down upon, something that I don't want to my name to even be mentioned with. So every day that I'm better than yesterday, or I'm better than the minute of the past, is what drives me, is to be better than I was yesterday. Because a famous quote from Muhammad Ali, he says, the same man that is, I can't remember it word for word, but it goes as a man that is 20 or 50 that thinks the same way as he was when he was 20 wasted 30 years of his life. So being you waited all those, if you haven't grown, or if it isn't any growth in the day-to-day process, then I feel like you're wasting your purpose, you're wasting your reason for being on this planet. So complacency is something that drives me to be the person I am today.
So, through all this, through your accomplishments, your success, who supports you?
I have a lot of support. My parents, my dad, my mom, family, cousins. A lot of people support me.
My motivation is that I'm a sleeper. People sleeping on me, coaches are sleeping on me. I work hard every day.
I always need feedback to your phone sound. Feedback is always something that could make you better as a person or artist. Say it could either be a good opinion or a bad opinion. As long as I get an opinion that would strive me to do better.
Honestly, I could say the reason I do it to this extent is really to support the people that have been there for me since forever. So I would say my mother, my sister, family that doesn't know this is what I do. I do this so, they know that I'm trying to better themselves while also expressing myself.
I do myself. Well, it's not me, my mother. I always wanted to give her better than what she gave me.
Family drives me to keep going, and my people. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at what's going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the different craziness, different stuff that my people going through. So that those two things are the biggest things that help motivate me and keep me going.
Really wanting to make a difference. Not only wanting to make a difference, but educating people on different things. A lot of people don't know, about certain, diseases and stuff like that. I have a very rare one, and I kind of, through my music, my passion is getting my story out there and making people more educated, because nobody's really the same. So,
who that motivate me is my mom. She played a big role in my life. She's the one who taught me how to read and write when I struggled through the time. She taught me how to draw. She basically taught me the skills that I know today, and my father as well played a big role.
Yo, the motivation is self-motivation. It's just that I want to be someone who is considered prolific. It's like I said, I look at Wayne and his body of work. He has so many albums, so many mixtapes. So my motivation, since he's my favorite rapper, is to have that same work ethic that he does. That same, because it's not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. So my motivation is just for one day I want to be able to look at myself and say, I did everything that I wanted to do, and I am as prolific as I set out to be. And eventually, of course, I want to be the next Wayne or something.
Seeing the little kids in my family, so like my little cousins, my little brothers and all that, because it's like, for my inspiration was the older people in my family, so like I want to set some type of example for the little ones in my family.
Music, it inspired me a lot actually, because it helps me set the mood for when I'm playing tournaments. It helps me calm my body, calm my soul, and help me play a better golf game. I never really told Amiir this, but I actually listened to him before I played in a tournament. I actually did pretty well, so I'm going to start doing that more often.
Back then, before I was doing music, I was skipping school. I was just on a bad road, you know what I'm saying? So music, it has impacted me doing the right thing. It kept me out of trouble, and it makes me tell a story.
In 1968, after the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the citizens of Baltimore rioted in frustration over treatment and lack of equality in their country. In 2015, after the death of Freddie Gray, a new generation is rioting in backlash against police officers after the daily arrest. Baltimore is once again in upheaval. The people you are about to watch were raised by those who experienced the 1968 riots, and as history repeats itself, they were able to witness the same thing in 2015. After the riots, the crime rate climbed dramatically, resulting in 344 homicides that year alone, the highest ever in city history. Following the deaths of innocent black men, such as Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, and Freddie Gray, just to name a few, a new group named Black Lives Matter has risen against these injustices. They have had a polarizing effect nationwide, but nonetheless still have made a huge cultural impact. Being that most people in our film are people of color, we saw it fitting to ask how they felt about it.
I fear for my life. You know? Like, the cops shooting us black people just for pulling out an ID. You tell us to pull out an ID, show you ID. You know what I'm saying? But the minute we trying to grab for the ID, you shoot and kill us. What was the purpose of you even telling us to grab the ID for if you was just gonna kill us? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just crazy out here. You know, I feel like, to be honest, you just gotta be protected at all times. You gotta watch your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? But also, you gotta handle the police accordingly too. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got hate for them and all that doesn't mean just straight disrespect them off jump. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes in certain situations they might try to be telling you something.
My biggest question is, how can you be so complacent with the deterioration of colored people? I feel like it's terrible. Like, we're doing exactly what they want us to do. And when I say they, I don't mean to be racist, no nothing. But we are a minority. And I'm trying not to get real emotional, but this is something that really hits me hard. Like, we are a minority, and we already have the short end of the stick, and we make things a whole lot worse because we're doing exactly what people expect us to do. And like I said, as a female, I'm not happy with what I see.
We can't look at them and say, we hate all cops. Now, I will say it is a problem when we do see officers and we get nervous or scared. Even when they haven't said anything to us, just knowing that they're in the atmosphere, we might not make it out just because of previous occurrences. But no, they also feel the same way about us. So all that I make of it is do my best to educate others on these types of things, and do my best to make sure people who come after me can change this. I do my best, my own best to change it as well. I will do everything in my power to spread the message through music, like I already do, like I did in Me Over Me and other songs on the album. But I do believe that artists like, Kendrick, Cole, Joey, Chance, these different artists that do speak on these topics, they are doing what's right, even though it's not just about money. At the end of the day, it's really about what really matters. At the end of the day, no one cares how much money you have, but people are going to care how many lives you change.
Tell you something. So I got a phone call after, the Dallas shooting. I got a phone call.
Special report. And we are coming on the air now with the latest on that devastating news from Dallas. Last night at a peaceful protest about this week's deadly police shooting, shots did ring out. Snipers firing police officers. 5 have died, 7 officers injured. 2 civilians were hurt as well. That is the mayor of Dallas right there. One of the shooters has been killed by police and 3 suspects in custody. Let's listen to the mayor.
And my aunt, she lives in Texas, so she was just calling me, she was checking up on me. She was just telling me, you got to be aware of these cops now, man. To me, I always thought, if you're around a police officer, you should feel safe. You should feel comfortable. I don't feel like that now, to be honest. As a black man, I definitely don't feel like that. And it's sad because we are supposed to feel comfortable around a police officer. We can't, we're not. And it is some police officers that are doing their jobs, and I appreciate that, but there's no reason why black men should be getting shot for no reason at all. And I watched a Snapchat video.
Stay with me. We got pulled over for a busted tail light in the back. And the police, he's covered. They killed my boyfriend. He's licensed. He's licensed to carry. He was trying to get out his ID and his wallet out his pocket, and he let the officer know that he had a firearm and he was reaching for his wallet, and the officer just shot him in his arm.
As the 32-year-old Castile lay dying from multiple gunshot wounds, the officer who shot him keeps his weapon pointed through the car window.
They had a Snapchat video where the lady was in a car with her husband and her daughter in the back seat. And her husband, the cop came over, and the husband said that he had a gun, but he was pulling out the license for the gun or whatever. And the officer just shot him 4 times in his arm. I'm like, wow, you shot the man 4 times in his arm because he was ready to show you his gun license. How does that work? I don't know how that works at all.
With the rise of social media and cameras putting into it, it's how I feel about it is it's making us indifferent to the fact that people are still dying. The fact that we have to say Black Lives Matter. If you don't understand it, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to people who understand that Black Lives Matter, because all lives matter, but right now Black Lives Matter because nobody else, no other 8-year-old boy is getting shot in the chest 10 times. There's no other man getting strangled on the street for selling CDs. So Black Lives Matter. So if you understand that Black Lives Matter, then you'll realize that we need to do something about the situation. And putting it on social media to get everyone to see it is good, but when you consistently put it on, you see a black boy getting shot, you see a black man getting shot, it's making other people indifferent to our situation. It makes them feel like, okay, that happens all the time, so why is this case any special?
I feel angry inside, but at the same time, I don't want this thing to also define who I am. I mean, the devil is always going to be working. I think his agenda is he's trying to create hate between police officers and black people or whoever and just create chaos. We can't let that get over our head. Every police officer is not a bad police officer. Every black person is not a gangster, or you just can't let that get over your head. But at the same time, we gotta find those people that wear police uniform and go out there and murder black people, because I strongly believe every police officer they're not bad. So, but there's some murderers that hide behind that uniform. So that's what I think about it.
The systematic racism is so blatant that it's kind of hard for. It's not even hard. It's very. It's unbelievable how some Americans don't realize or can't see how true it exists. And I don't want to be political or anything like that, but I just feel like with these killings, we should be going somewhere with it. And it's sad that, what I feel about it is that every time something like this happens, we don't go anywhere with it until just now. And I feel like now we're taking steps to move along and to do the things that are needed to get where we need to go. And what happened in Dallas, I feel like was completely unacceptable, and I feel like that was just like a step back from what we as a people are trying to accomplish. If you're for all lives matter, then black lives should matter too. And what Black Lives Matter is an empowerment, or it's a movement to remind people that we are being killed with evidence. We're being killed blatantly. We're being, disrespected on video cameras. So it's not like it's a word to mouth, but we're being treated we've been treated by this system with no justice, and it's ridiculous. So what we really don't see when we see Black Lives Matter is the two that's invisible at the end of matter. So what we're really saying is Black Lives Matter too. We're not saying only Black Lives Matter.
Like, we always resort to someone like a white person killing us, and I understand why. I definitely understand that. No taking away from that. But when we kill each other, it's just like, what's the point? We killing ourselves. If we stop that problem, then we can definitely move on as people and knock out the bigger issue that's at hand, and that's the cops killing us.
Those situations make me feel very terrible. You know what I mean? The fact that a man was taught to do the very correct thing to do. When being pulled over by a police officer, he was taught to do the right thing to do. He did the right thing. He obviously had good parents who taught him how to do it. And the scary part about it is, even when you're taught to do the perfectly right thing, you can still be killed. You know what I mean? It's just very scary. I mean, it's like, who do you trust? Do you trust the police? Like, who do you trust? That's really what it comes down to, because they don't care. They just don't. It's gonna keep happening again and again, and we can go out and march as much as we can, or we can go on the news and debate as much as we can, but nothing is really gonna change unless we affect them. The only way to affect The only way to affect these situations and make them better is when someone loses money. So we have to not spend money. If you don't spend money on Black Friday, if you don't spend money on Thanksgiving, if you don't spend money on Christmas, as Black people or as Hispanic people, they will lose tons of money, and then they will change. That's how it happened back in the 1950s when they boycotted. The bus services lost money because Black people weren't riding the bus.
We have taken the following steps to restore law and order in our state, and you may be sure that the situation is under control and under constant vigilance of state and local authorities. We have proclaimed a state of emergency in Baltimore City and Baltimore County. A curfew has been imposed in Baltimore City from 4 p.m. to 6 a.m. and in Baltimore County from 9 p.m.
That makes me feel sad, hurt. I can't be me, you know, because me being the Black young man that I am, having dreads, people stereotype me as being a quote-unquote thug just because the way I look. I have my ear pierced, the things I wear, the shoes that I wear, the clothes that I wear. People might stereotype me as being thug, not knowing, not being educated, but that's probably what the police see. I'm not saying every police, but what's out here. The shootings, they've been happening, but just because the media's here, it's making it known, you know, and it's not good, and it hurts. It hurts to know that cops are so crooked out here doing this to young Black men that's not even doing anything. It's not like they having a shootout. They're the ones that shooting first, the ones that you do see on CNN and TV and things like that. Like, why does it have to result to someone getting shot and killed? Why can't they just get tased, the worst case? Why come they can't just get beat, the worst case? Everything can be prevented, and why does it have to come down to someone being killed in the end, you know?
Deploying every resource possible to gain control of this situation and to ensure peace moving forward. I've been in contact with our governor, and he has agreed, and I've requested, and he has agreed to deploy the National Guard. As soon as they are available, they will be immediately deployed.
My standpoint on it is, you know, coming from the city like we do, like Baltimore, Black people are killing each other every day. So like, we can't be hypocrites and just get mad on the cops when they doing something. We gotta stand up and put a stop to it in our city first before we can do anything. Because we just look like a bunch of fools saying Black Lives Matter, but that's the first life we've taken in this city. And when cops do it, it's all of a bad thing now. Now it's wrong because cops, I mean, they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to protect us before anything. But when we coming around with all this gangbanging stuff and all this shoot 'em up and shoot on Black people type stuff in our city, like, they can't really respect it when it comes on the mainstream. And that's why we're not getting the respect we deserve when it comes to big topics like Black Lives Matter, because we the main people killing our own race. But the police killings and all that stuff isn't right at all. It's not justified at all. And I do not agree with it at all. But I can understand why we're not getting the type of respect we deserve, because we killing our own people in our own city.
And we're still trying to figure that out, like with the court and such. Them getting all 6 of them. Was it like 3 guys and 3 girls or 4? I can't remember. But I look at it like this. If Kevin Durant plays a bad game, his team calls him out on him. If the head chef messes up the dish, the sous chef and all the line cooks call him out on him. The fact that no police officer, especially the ones of those departments, are not coming out publicly to call these officers out on that BS, I have a problem with that. Now, the very few officers across the country, across the world, calling them out, that's cool, but it's like, so far what I'm seeing is they know they can get away with it. I understand there's good officers out there, but you need to come out publicly, because if you don't, people are just going to keep doing what they're doing. They're going to keep rioting. They're going to keep losing trust, even if they still have some left. Like, it's just going to go downhill for cops and downhill for Black people. Downhill for people in general. Like, who cares about who has to be the bigger man? Like, somebody step up. Somebody that needs to step up should step up. We've been stepping up for decades. Not many cops have been stepping up. And that's the problem.
Everyone on this earth has two things in common. We were all born, and we will all one day die. The only thing bigger than you is your legacy, whether that be good or bad. Securing that legacy is something you work on every day, even if you don't know it. And your goals largely play a part in how that legacy pans out. We needed to ask what those goals were and how would they like to be remembered for their legacy.
For some reason, I just think when I go, people not going to be sad because I was never a sad person. And I think that when I go, well, my legacy is going to be one that makes people feel good, makes people happy all the time. Like when Michael Jackson passed, his music will continue to inspire others and make people feel good. And I feel like, I'm not the same as Michael Jackson, but I just feel like with my my spirit and my presence, I never try to be serious, even though like I know what things to take seriously, but I never try to be, I never try to be too dramatic, or I always try to lighten the mood, I always try to be happy, I always try to, bring all these different characteristics into a room, because you never know what somebody's going through, one, and you never know what someone needs.
When I die, I want to be remembered as a legend, if not an icon, a legend. I want people to be able to say that I was true greatness. I wasn't just a producer who made beats and, had hit records. I want to be great.
When I die, I want people to remember me by my art, the passion I have behind it, my generosity, mostly, and how I carry myself. I feel like I'm a respectful person. I put my respect towards others, and yeah, just remember me by my art, my personality, and who I was when I left the earth, before I left the earth.
To be honest, I really don't really care, to be honest, what people think.
That I was a good person, always brought good spirit to everybody, never brought nobody down, even when they was down, brought them back up.
I want people to know, I want them to know the good and the bad. I don't want them to just look at me for something I'm not. I want them to know that I came from, being, I would say, the worst of a person could be, to being, everything that, someone would want to see in a person, whether it be, the good man is, having himself, good head on his shoulders, finding myself before I pass, because there's always room, for the change. And, I want to leave the world to know that, no matter where you grow up at and what other people, tell you, that there's no limits to diversity. No matter how different you want to be, there's always, there's always more truth to come out of you.
But when I die, I want to leave a legacy. I want to be like your Ludacris, who's an artist, a philanthropist, an entrepreneur. Like, I want to be somebody like that, somebody who's really made an impact on the people around them. Like, I try not to, have beef with too many people, you feel me? Because when I die, I want a lot of people to be like, she was a really good person.
He was just an original ass nigga.
Whatever they want. I don't like sugarcoating. I don't like people kissing my ass. I'm in the grave, man. Don't do that. Just say what you need to say. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you didn't like what I did, say it. If you did like what I did, say it. Just say what you gotta say, and people will take it however.
When I die, I want people to say that I did my greatest. I was great. I want people to say that I was one of the best. I want people to say that I inspired millions. I want people to be heartbroken when I go. I want people to be deeply inspired by what I've done for the world. I don't just want to be big, be successful and then not impact the world. You know what I mean? So when I go, it has to be something very impactful for people, and I want to leave something great behind for people.
His, like I said, it's still about his beliefs, still for what was right, and never, ever, ever follow the crowd to just follow the crowd. Some people say never follow the crowd, but I mean, if 20 people are making $1 million and they're going to tell you how to make it and it's legit, follow those people, please. Please follow those people. Please. Now, of course, if some people are all jumping off cliffs, please don't jump off that cliff. But just always was, like I said, stood for his own, and he just loved people, man.
I would like to be known as a great, smart, caring, and loving individual that everyone will miss. I like to be known for being the best person I possibly could be.